Hey guys, it's Becca, and once again I'm coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to be doing my November and December wrap-up, plus my January TBR. I know this video is coming in late, but that's only because I've been having camera difficulties. I don't know, I got a new camera for Christmas and it is awesome. I love it so much, and I can't even use it because something was wrong with the lens, so we have to mail it back to the person and they're gonna send me a brand new one, and that's gonna take 2 weeks long. I did not want to not do a video for you guys, so I'm still using my little bitty camera. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and let's just get started. So the first book that I read in November was Stay With Me by Jennifer L. Armentrout, writing as j.lynn, and everybody knows that this is one of my favorite authors of all time. Jennifer L. Armentrout is queen. She's queen next to Sarah J. Maas because, you know. So this book is part of her series. It's a Wait For You series. The first book is Wait For You, and I have that in my favorites 2016 video. It made the list, guys. That's how good this series is. This book is one of the best contemporary books I've ever read. The stories of the characters are so deep. Backstories of the characters are so deep and rich, and you believe the story, you believe what the character's feeling. This book is about a girl named Calla, and Calla has had a really tough past life for reasons that you will find out. For reasons why I'm not going to tell you, she goes back to her hometown where her mom is, and her mom owns this bar, and it's called Mona's. She has grown up all her life in this bar. And she goes to this bar, and there she meets a boy, and his name is Jax. Now, Jax is sexy, funny, caring, smart, sweet, all the items that you want in a good boyfriend, you know? As their relationship progresses, you learn lots of secrets about Jax that Calla doesn't know. I'm not really good at synopsis, but I promise you it's a really good story. I gotta work on my synopsises because I'm just not good at it. But, 5 out of 5 stars. I love this book so much. This next book that I'm going to be talking about that I read in December was Touched by Alyssa S. Amor. And I saw this book on Amazon. It was in my recommended list, and of course I gotta look at that because Amazon knows what I like to read, obviously. It's a fallen angel book, kind of a fallen angel book. It's an angel book, and it has made the list of my favorite angel books of all time because this story is full of mystery, love, romance, tons of action, and lots of mystery. I mean, I'm a girl, if I like to read romance, I like to have a little bit of mystery in it, because I like secrets. I like it when my characters keep secrets, because I think that other people finding out those secrets is just the best part about a book. It was my first fantasy read in a very long time. I've been in a book slump, and my way of healing from that book slump was reading a lot of contemporaries this year. So this was one of the very first books that I picked up that was a fantasy read, and I loved it. It kind of got me back into the fantasy jump. I really love this book, and I think you guys will love it too. Now we're going to get into the December. I actually read a lot this December, and the first book that I'm going to be talking about is The Best Goodbye by Abby Glines. I just got the whole entire Rosemary Beach series. I have them all, and I'm pretty proud of that because there's 13 books, and the books aren't very long, so this one took me a day, maybe a day and 2 hours to read, and it was very enjoyable, but I don't know, something about it, I didn't enjoy it as the first 3 books or, 4th or 5th, I loved the character of River. I loved the character of Rose. I loved her character, and I loved his character. They were interesting, but something about the story and just the way that Abby Glines writes. I love the way Abby Glines writes. I love her stories. They're very interesting, very unique, something that you can't put down. But one thing I don't like about her books is that she never really gives a lot of detail. There's not a lot into the story. That's why it's very short read, because I feel like she should put more detail and more backstories. I don't know. But I definitely enjoyed it. I love her books, so I'm not saying don't read Abby Glines. I'm just saying if you want a more in-depth story, I wouldn't pick this book up. The next book I read in December was Scoring Wilder by R.S. Gray. R.S. Gray is one of my favorite authors. She writes tons of funny comedies, and it's like a romantic comedy. And this one is something that I love. I love sports romances. I love it. I mean, something about a guy that can run and catch a ball is just, gets my heart pumping, This book was about a girl named Kinsley Bryant, and Kinsley Bryant is very well known in the girl soccer world. She's a very awesome soccer player, and so she's in this college. The setting is when she's in college, and she has kind of a crush on her coach, which ends up being this guy named Wilder, and he is very well known in the soccer world. He's kind of like the soccer bad boy. I love bad boys in books, not in real life because they're jerks, but I love it when books have bad boys that, just turn nice in the end. They just love it, guys. I just love it. And the one thing I love about R.S. Gray books is that her books are so funny. Characters are so funny, and that's what I like about her books. Another book that I read at the very beginning of December was Every Last Breath by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and obviously, I've said before in this video, Jennifer L. Armentrout is queen. She's really, really a great author, and I will always love her books. This book was the last book in the Dark Elements series. This book was so great, such a great conclusion to a really great trilogy. Very, very interesting take on a fantasy read. I suggest you pick up the first two books, which is White Hot Kiss, and I have the second book review on my channel, so if you want to go check out what I thought about the second book, if you read the second book, go ahead and check that one out, because I really, really love this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. So the next book that I read in December was called Weightless by Candy Steiner, I don't know how you pronounce her name. I'm really bad at names. I read this book because it was free on my Kindle and it just sounded interesting. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads just because I enjoyed it so much and I read it in the night. Mystery read, romance read, but now that I start to think about it and the way I read it, I don't think it was my favorite book. I don't know, something about the story just I didn't really connect with. I didn't really connect with the character or the story. If you like a really good romance mystery read, you can pick it up, but it's not the best in my opinion. And the last two books that I read in December was Once She Dreamed Part 1 and Once She Dreamed Part 2, and that is by Abby Glines. This was definitely not the best Abby Glines book that I have ever read. As I said before, I really enjoy her books, but something about her books that she does not, the story is not thoroughly developed and the characters aren't thoroughly developed and there's not a lot of detail. There's a lot of cliffhangers that shouldn't be cliffhangers, stuff that needs to be solved that the reader would definitely want to know. Just there's a lot of plot holes in the story. I thought the first book was pretty okay. It was a book that kind of set the story of this girl that lived in a small town that was really pretty but very guarded. Her family guarded her, so she wanted to live somewhere else where she could live her life. Part 1 was kind of like her living in the town and then meeting this guy, and then the second part was them living in this New York City with this guy that she doesn't know, working for this guy she doesn't know. And I didn't really like it, and I'm here to tell you guys the truth about how I like a book, and I just didn't think it was, I don't think it's worth picking up again. Definitely didn't enjoy it, and if there's a part 3, I won't be reading it. Now it's time for my January TBR, and this is my favorite part about reading books and starting a new month, is to pick out the books that I want to start next. And the next book that I will be reading is When You're Back by Abby Glines. Actually, this is the second book. I want to finish this story in the Rosemary Beach series. I think that I'll like this. I don't know. I really love the Rosemary Beach series. I love how the stories are quick. But you know how I'm feeling about Abby Glines books as I go on into the series. And I'm just feeling like there needs to be more detail, which is why Something About the Rosemary Beach series, there's 2 books, and so that's like 400 pages of like 2 characters, 1 story. That's why I like reading these in the Rosemary Beach series. So hopefully I get on and finish this books, and I'm really excited about it. The next book that I'm really excited about reading is Avoiding Alpha by j.lynn. This is the sequel to the Becoming Alpha series, the Alpha Girl series. This is the 2nd book in the Becoming Alpha series. I'm not going to give out the synopsis for now because that gives away the 1st book. So I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's about a girl and she gets into a sticky situation. Okay, there's a wolf and there's a girl on the cover, so I think you guys can tell this is a werewolf book. And I thoroughly loved the 1st book. I don't know why nobody has heard of it and nobody's talking about it, but I'm talking about it on my channel. I love this series. I have the whole entire series. That's how much I enjoyed the 1st book. The next book that I hope to be reading in January is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. I've heard so many great things about this book. It's about like a princess. This princess is being forced into a marriage, of course, with a prince that she does not want to marry because she's never met him before in her life. Like, why would you want to marry somebody who you've never met before? I don't know why the parents of these royals just aren't getting the picture.
Like, Mom, Dad, I don't want to marry him. I've never met him before. Oh my God, I don't care if he's a prince.
So then she runs away to this town where she's trying to build a normal life for herself and not as a princess. And then she just doesn't know that there's 2 people who are tracking her. One of them is the prince that she never met and never married, and the second one is an assassin that wants to kill her. Now, does that just sound like a great story? This just sounds like the best story ever, and I'm so excited to get into more of the fantasy reads. Fantasy reads are like my favorite genre, and I just didn't read a lot in 2016, so I'm really looking forward to reading more in 2017, and I think this is a really good start to my really good year, hopefully. One of my book goals this year is to do more fantasy reads, read more fantasy reads because I love them so much. And the next book I hope to read in January is Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. I've heard lots of great things about this series. I think the last book just came out in the series, which I'm glad because I don't have to wait like years for the next book to come out. I hate waiting for books. I just want them in my hands. I have not read what the back is about. I kind of don't want to go into the book knowing what it's about because I find that if you don't know what it's about, then you enjoy the book better. You're not expecting anything, like everything's like a secret. So I'm not going to read the synopsis, like I'm not going to read the description box at all, but everyone has said great things about this story and this series, and apparently it's amazing. So I'm really looking forward to reading an amazing book series because like I love book series, like duh. So yes guys, that was my November and December wrap up and January TBR. It was kind of long because I read a lot of books in the months of November and December. Yeah, so I hope I read all those books and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm hoping that I can like do this like every month just as like, you know, kind of like a time capsule of like what I read like every month. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below anything that you're thinking about this books, anything that is not spoiler about the books that I'm reading in January. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and I make videos every week. I'm Becca from In a Bookshelf, and I will see you next time. Bye!